Evening, everyone. This is Vampire Helly ASMR. And tonight I'm gonna be explaining myself just a teeny tiny bit. I have some explaining to do. 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 So, as you know, on TikTok, and even here on YouTube, I have let people know that this isn't just a cosplay, it is a reflection of my soul and my spiritual path, as I am a living vampire. That's a little bit different than being a fictional vampire. Fictional vampires are afraid of crucifixes, which I'm not too fond of seeing them on churches because I have a lot of religious trauma. So when I see a cross, I kind of think about old times, but I'm quite fond of looking at crucifixes as an art form, as Louis, let's say. I'm quite fond of looking at crucifixes. Also, forgive me for my shifty eyes. I'm still trying to learn where to look at the camera, so forgive me as I learn how to use my equipment. I know I'm not supposed to be looking over here. I know I'm not supposed to be looking at here. So am I supposed to be looking over here, but at what? Maybe at this. Maybe at this. Maybe at this. So, I digress. I am a living vampire. Which means I can look at crucifixes, I can look at myself in the mirror. I don't sleep in a coffin. I don't suck your blood. Things like that. I don't burst into flames in the sun. Things like that. So many people would say, well, then you're not a real vampire. But what is a real living vampire? Think of it like this. Do real witches who practice real witchcraft, is their skin green? Do they have warts on their nose? Do they fly around on broomsticks? No. No, no, no. They do not. No. Then you would have to say, do living vampires who practice vampirism burst into flames in the sun, sleep in coffins, etc., etc.? And the answer is still no, no, no. No, no, no. No, no, no. I, as a living vampire, do not suck on blood. I take energy. And it's called being a vampire because you're sort of sucking the energy out of the ambient energy, at least in my case, that is ambient energy that is around you and not on you or in you. But if I were to take energy from you, I wouldn't just take, I would ask permission because consent is key. But we're going into a whole thing. I think I explained it on another video of what a living vampire is, but I wanted to come on here and explain a couple other things. I wanted to explain to you the concept that even though I spiritually am a living vampire, I do energy work. I take ambient energy and direct energy if given consent, and that is the type of vampire I am, a psychic vampire. So even though that I do that as my spiritual practice, as my job, I am a cosplayer. I am an entertainer. That is my main job, is to entertain. And the way that I choose to entertain online is dressed as a fictional vampire. So people get confused sometimes because they think, well, you know, the fangs are fake, the hair is fake, it's all fake, then that must mean Helly is not a real vampire. But that is not the case. Off camera, I have my own practices of vampirism. On camera, I am a fictional vampire. And sometimes I do integrate those worlds. Like here and now, I'm talking to you about some very magical things. But my job is to entertain. So on TikTok, you may see that I have storylines as Vampire Helly, that I have role plays or different scenarios. And even on YouTube, I'm going to start doing role plays and scenarios as Vampire Helly. But that does not make my spiritual practice invalid just because my job is to dress up as a fictional vampire, you see. A lot of times on my TikTok lives, I will say there are living vampires who are janitors, living vampires who are lawyers, living vampires who are bagging your groceries at the grocery store, living vampires who are CEOs. They have a job and they have a spiritual practice. I have a spiritual practice as a living vampire, taking energy, and I also have a job. And my job is playing the role of a fictional vampire and entertaining you guys with visuals, arts, and storylines. And that, my friends, is still okay. Okay. There is something, though, that does really dishearten me, that I have seen in the vampire community, is people talking on forums about how if you're a living vampire, then you shouldn't make it to be your job that you act and cosplay as a fictional vampire. And I think that's very silly. And I think that it's very sad that living vampires cannot really live in harmony with each other's choices, because being a living vampire is not an organized religion. So of course there are many other different opinions, there are many different paths. I myself don't participate in a lot of the paths that I see other living vampires participate in. My deities are a lot different than what I've seen personally. So yeah, there are a lot of different practices, and I think that's really cool. And I think organized religion sucks. And I think that focusing on your individual path is the way to go. But I am very disheartened when I see people say that just because I cosplay or just because another living vampire cosplays, that they are not truly a vampire, that they are a fraud because they cosplay. No, you are living your dream. I am so happy to do this as a job. Yes, I have other things I do for work. But this is a pretty big deal in my work life, and I'm going to continue to grow it, and I'm going to continue to do what I love because it makes me happy. And maybe that's part of it. Maybe people are sad in life because they're not going after the goals and the things in life that make them happy, so they feel that they need to devalue others who are living their best life, and I think that's sad, and I hope they stop. But I guess I've gotten off track a little bit, but basically I wanted to come on here and say that yes, I am a living vampire, and I do a lot of my spiritual practices off camera. I'm going to be showing more with you guys because I think it's important to educate people. So I'm going to be sharing more with you guys about my living vampire lifestyle and my living vampire magical practices. But excuse me, my throat is still kind of sore because I was ill for a while. So excuse me for the raspy voice. But 3 things. Yes, I sometimes dress as a fictional vampire in public because it is a reflection of my soul and I feel very powerful when I do it. Yes, I am a living vampire I practice energy work, and I do a lot of spiritual rituals, and I have my own spiritual path, and I'm learning more and more every day. And thirdly, yes, my job is to cosplay as a vampire. All of those things aren't true, and there are others like me who do it too. So it's not like, this is a new concept unto the world, like other people do it too. And I think that a lot of people who are in the spiritual world, the magical world, are very creative people. And this is a great way to express that and still have connections to our spiritual roots, and do something that makes us happy. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to act, I wanted to entertain, and now I'm doing it, and I feel so honored to entertain each and every one of you. I am very happy. You guys make me very happy. There are many things that make me happy, but I guess I am blessed because I get to do something that fulfills my life. And yeah, I'm gonna keep continuing to grow in that area as well as my spiritual practices because I have much to learn. Much to learn, have I? Yes. And I am very nerdy, so of course I would pick a career path like this. But yeah, if you guys have any questions at all, ask them. I am an open book. I will tell you anything. I mean, of course, keep your comments respectful. But yeah, I am open to questions. I will answer your questions. But that's all I have for this video. I just wanted to come on here and talk about this because it's something that gets brought up quite a bit. So yeah, I hope this clears things up for you. And I am excited to start posting more frequently on this channel, so look out for that. There will be videos at least once a week, if not every other week. So, good night, my friends. Sleep well, and may your dreams be as magical and wonderful as you are.